When the Dobbs ruling was handed down in 2022 and the legal protections for abortion and reproductive health care blown open, the big question was, what's the next freedom to go? A new battleground emerged: in vitro fertilization, or IVF. It's a safe process, a miracle for folks who want to grow their families, and like abortion and all forms of reproductive health care, it is also health care. But in February of this year, Alabama's Supreme Court, empowered by the end of Roe, ruled that frozen embryos used in IVF were considered unborn children, upending the legality of IVF in that state. The court ruled that Alabama's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act, which allows parents to sue for damages if their child is killed, applied, quote, to all unborn children, regardless of their location, end quote. Apart from the crude reference to a woman's body as a location, this ruling threatened to end IVF in Alabama because the IVF process typically fertilizes more eggs than will be used, and not all embryos survive the freezing process. The Alabama legislature did pass a bill in a bid to restart IVF in the state, but the clinic involved in the Supreme Court's decision said the language in the bill wasn't clear enough to protect them. Fetal personhood has long been a staple of the anti-abortion movement, but this ruling extended beyond fetal personhood, reaching for embryonic personhood, even outside the womb. Throughout the ruling, Justice Jay Mitchell of the Alabama Supreme Court refers to fertilized eggs in a storage freezer as, quote, extrauterine children. Extrauterine children, embryos. And almost immediately, people felt the effects of this ruling. Our next guest, an Alabama woman named Latoria Beasley, wanted to grow her family through IVF and was prevented from doing so by this ruling and by the overturning of Dobbs before it. She is now telling her story in a brand new ad from the Harris Walz campaign, which you're getting a first look at right now.
IVF is a miracle for us because it allowed us to have our family. After having my daughter, I wanted more children, but my embryo transfer was canceled 8 days before the procedure. Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade stopped us from growing the family that we wanted. I don't want politicians telling me how or when I can have a baby. We need a president that will protect our rights, and that's Kamala Harris.
Latoria Beasley, the woman you just saw in that campaign ad, joins me now. Latoria, welcome. Thank you for being with us. I'm sorry about the reason that you have become involved in this campaign, but let's start with your story. As you said in the ad, your IVF procedure canceled 8 days before it was scheduled. Take us back to that moment and how it all unfolded for you.
Yeah, hi, thank you for having me. So yeah, I was actually in the doctor's office when my doctor came in, and she asked me, she said, you may want to call Lamar, that's my husband. So you may want to call Lamar, get him on the phone. And she just kind of walked us through what was happening. That's when she told us, hey, I don't know right now we're going to move forward, but there's a possibility that you won't be able to move forward with your embryo transfer. And the very next day, we got a call that our clinic had in fact closed down.
Oh my God. Were you given options, or did you know what you do next in that process and try to undergo the embryo transfer somewhere else?
No, so we weren't given any options. And actually, trying to go somewhere else wasn't an option because carriers didn't want to have to handle embryos either because they were afraid of prosecution or what could happen. So they weren't releasing any embryos. There were no options. The option was let's wait and see what happens. Call your legislators, get on the phone, email, see what happens. And that's what we did.
So, yeah, that's literally where you are now. You are actually having to take to the political process to fix this. There were a lot of people who said that was a mistake by the Alabama Supreme Court and that that's not what the fall of Roe was intended for. But the argument other people make is actually reproductive control is what it's all about. The fall of Roe and the things that are happening across the country are actually the point.
Right. I think just the overturning of Roe v. Wade unleashed a full spectrum on an attack on reproductive health care. And we saw firsthand that the overturning of Roe v. Wade was not just going to impact abortions. It impacted reproductive health care as a full spectrum.
When you heard that, of course, this was the legislature did something to sort of clarify this, that still didn't solve the problem. Explain that to me, because it felt like the legislature came in and said, no, hold on, the courts, the law is not the way the courts interpret it. Let's make it clearer. And yet the clinic still said not clear enough for us.
So, yeah, I think it was a Band-Aid effect. Like, it put a Band-Aid over the problem temporarily for the clinics to open back up temporarily. But there are still questions there. We don't know what's going to happen next. As a matter of fact, we have embryos that are frozen that we don't intend to move forward with because they're not viable embryos. And we can't do anything with those embryos at this point. Actually, we're paying to have those embryos stored.
Wow.
Even though we know, well, we can't do anything with those because they're not viable.
The language that the Alabama Supreme Court used in the decision that ultimately blocked your procedure called frozen embryos extrauterine children. Now, I don't know whether that's a deliberate misunderstanding of what embryos are or one that's made by people who don't understand the reproductive process. But I guess it sort of underscores why judges and politicians probably shouldn't be in charge of women's reproductive rights.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there, because, we wish that every embryo would turn into a successful or end with a baby in our arms, but that's just not the case. In many scenarios, you will go throughout the embryo transfer and it just does not result in a full-term pregnancy that results with the baby in your arms. So that just wasn't the case. And I think you hit the nail on the head by saying that it just shows that you don't know what's going on and you should probably stay out of it.
You speak about staying out of it. You're not staying out of it. You are in this campaign. How did you connect with the Harris campaign, and how does it feel to be the face of this particular issue right now?
I don't know about the face, but, it's been really interesting and fun. I did not expect this at all. Originally, when the ruling came down and my clinic closed, I was very sad, but I instantly went into like mama bear mode and was like, no, I have to do something. I have to fight back. And so no matter how uncomfortable it may be to tell my story, I just vowed that, if anyone would listen, I would talk. And so here I am today on the campaign trail.
I am glad that you're in mama bear mode. Great to meet you. Thank you for being with us today, Latoria Beasley from Alabama.